Hey my friends, welcome back to the channel. I hope you really enjoyed this video. I'm going to be sharing with you a clip from last month's Empowered Dancer Masterclass. This one is really special because it's featuring guest expert Jess Spinner from The Whole Dancer. If you don't already follow Jess on Instagram, go do that now. The Whole Dancer on Instagram. I refer dancers I work with as a mindset coach to her all the time for her expertise as a health coach and nutrition coach for dancers. She specifically specializes in helping dancers have a healthy relationship with food and a positive body image. I know that is such a big deal. So here's a little snippet from our whole conversation. I know that you'll really enjoy it. I really hope that you do. I think it has lots of little gold nuggets in there for you. And if you want access to this whole conversation, in addition to over 10 hours of other very powerful full masterclass recordings, I wanted to share with you that this week only for Black Friday, you will be able to have a 20% or rather $20 off coupon to the Empowered Dancer Masterclass bundle. This used to be a monthly live call offering. I put all the recordings together in a one-time purchase offering for you guys. If you want access to all those recordings, I highly suggest you take advantage of it now. Use the code BFriday between now and Monday, November 29th, and you can get $20 off your purchase to the Empowered Dancer Masterclass bundle. So enjoy this clip. Please let me know what you think about it. If you have any questions, if you got any particular insights out of it, I would love to hear. And again, take advantage of that offer if you'd like to really invest in yourself this Black Friday. So I hope that you enjoy. Thank you for watching, and as always, subscribe and stick around for videos every single week. All right, enjoy. So next I'd love to ask you, since we often in these calls, I like to start with defining what does it mean to have a healthy mindset or whatever it is. So let's define, what do you think it means to have a healthy relationship with our bodies as dancers?
A lot of people will say that the goal should simply be neutrality. And I think that that's extremely valuable and valid.
Yeah.
I believe that for dancers, when you are expecting so much from your body and you are faced with it in such an intense setting at such an alarming frequency, it is really essential to work to get beyond just neutral. For many dancers, neutral might be the first step. Like, okay, I have been hating on my body. I have been seeing it in exceptionally unhealthy or unhelpful ways. So I'm going to work to just get to a place where I'm like, okay, this is my body. That's it. That's a good first step. It really is. But I do think that because of what we expect from our bodies and because of the exposure that we experience with them, it should be a goal to work towards very deep, and I'll even say like radical self-love and self-support. It's like you should be so intimately connected to your body because of what you are expecting it to do. And yet a lot of times we distance ourselves from our bodies because we are seeing imperfections, or we are seeing things that are not ideal. And so I think that, yes, first step towards a more healthy relationship to your body is going to be getting to a place of neutral where you can look in the mirror and not get all up in negativity and very unhelpful body image thoughts. But then once you're there, start to take it steps further into the realm of self-love. And I always say a big component of actually achieving this is self-care. And, that's a number of things. It's a myriad of things. It's tiny things like letting yourself sit on the couch for however long you want to without feeling guilty about it. And then it's like bigger things, creating routines in the morning that make you feel more positive or uplifted and ready for the day, and involving things beyond just the routine of getting from point A to point B, but, bringing in things that support you, like spiritual components and relationships that are helpful and beneficial and supportive. And for dancers too, I think whenever you can work with people on any level, like Kirsten, other mindset coaches, therapists if you need them, nutritionists when you need them, but like you got to explore those options and see who you actually feel connected and supported to. And you don't have to ever feel like there's one lane to gain outside support. Sometimes they're in the dance world, there are absolutely 100% sources who are like, this is the only way to get to where you want to go. I mean, and there's people who like technically do that as well. This is the only way to do a pirouette correctly. It's like, but is it? And it's the same with finding those support people who you actually feel connected to. It might take testing out a few and having conversations and like really looking, because now there are more and more support people out there. And I think that it is essential to find the ones who you feel you connect with and who understand your journey and your experience and all of that.
Amen.
So yeah, that was a lot. But like the healthy thing is it's, I would say, a multi-step process to
I
get there.
agree. And I really appreciate that you put it that way, because just like when I am working with dancers one-on-one, I always say that so often in terms of like building a confident mindset and positive thinking, what is modeled for us on the internet or even in our in-person social circles is you have to believe in yourself. And what that means is like believe you can stand out. You're the best. Go out there. And so that kind of models for us that it's like a light switch. You're off or you're on. You
Right.
believe in yourself 100%, you love your body 100%, or you don't. And that just feels so unapproachable. And the more
Yeah.
unapproachable it seems, and the less we feel like we have permission to start with neutral. Or even just
Right.
accept, like a great first step is reframing mistakes or reframing the things that you don't like about your body. I guess obviously that's not my expertise, so that's just an example I'm throwing out there. That can be such a powerful first step. It's a launching pad to gain enough confidence to take the next step. And that can be what empowerment looks like in any sort of area. Instead of like empowerment is the all or nothing. It's the I am Wonder Woman and I love every inch of my body and this is so great and all that. We can take the baby steps. So I really
Yeah.
enjoy what you shared. So I'd love to hear from like if we're to focus on that, what it means to have not just a healthy relationship with our bodies, but let's actually go to the extreme, a loving relationship with ourselves and our bodies. How do you see that impacting dancers' ability to perform?
I mean, it's immeasurable. It's I believe very strongly that it can, if you're pursuing this as a career, it can make or break those pursuits. If you're not pursuing it as a career, if it's more of a thing that you do for joy, it can steal the joy from it if you're not in that place or striving towards that place. And, again, this is something that comes from having been there. And, my professional career was short because I hated myself so much. And I was so miserable with who I was and who I thought I should be and the ways I didn't think I measured up. And I completely discounted the things that people were like telling me were my gifts and assets. And, like I've got feet. And one of my friends was like, if I was you, I would just go to an audition and point my foot and be like, okay, hire me. And I was like, yeah, that's how it works.
We say that.
But I was like, I didn't even have the ability to say, oh, I do have this thing that people consider an asset, and I should at least like have some confidence in some part of me and how I'm able to use that part of me to dance and be an artist and be something desirable in ballet. But it steals your ability to see those things.
Yeah.
And then can, like I said, my career was not long, and I think that it's largely because I couldn't get over that mindset hump and I couldn't see what I had to offer. And the
Mhm.
body stuff can really cloud so much of our ability to see those gifts in ourselves. And it can also be such a massive distraction
Oh,
where, in class, I, yeah, was thinking about technique kind of, but mostly I was obsessing over parts of my body that I didn't think looked right in different steps or positions.
mhm.
So it's like really acknowledging what it is slowing you down from doing or preventing you from achieving is essential, I think.
Yeah, that's really good awareness for all of us. And it's such a good example, too, of what I've said a couple times on Instagram that I heard about this actually from an illusionist. So, kind of
Oh,
like a
that's fun.
magician. He calls himself an illusionist, though. It's so interesting. He actually is an expert at the art of persuasion and deception, but he uses it for good, for entertainment, and for actually wholesome life lessons. So, he knows a lot about actually how the mind works and how to work with that in order to achieve a certain outcome. So I was listening to this podcast and he was talking about some some of the science that's coming out in neuroscience about how oftentimes we hear the phrase seeing is believing, but it's actually the opposite in how our brains are designed to work. Believing is seeing.
Hmm.
And what your story is sharing is like because of those beliefs dictated what you did and didn't see. And the same is happening for all of us in all sorts of ways. Sometimes we have beliefs that help us to see empowering things. We all have beliefs that are pointing our minds towards the evidence that is very disempowering. And I'm sure so many of the dancers you've worked with, and maybe some of you who are watching now or in the future, are like, but how could I love that if that is what teachers are telling me needs to change to get that job or to do that thing? If that part of my body is the thing that will prevent me from feeling the way I want to feel and accomplishing my dreams I've worked so hard for, how can I love that? And
Hmm.
that's such an understandable place to be at for all of us. And it does feel like such a hurdle to get over. And at the same time, when we look at that story of yours and your example, when you started to shift your beliefs, it started to change not only what you see in yourself, but how you feel about it. And from that place of feeling different, there's a different outcome of like a new relationship with food, a new way to interact with dancing, with your body. And so it's a huge, I think it involves faith. And that's why I like that you add the component of spirituality into your programs because it's like we need some kind of sense of like there's transcendence from this current mindset, this
Hmm.
current view of reality is possible.
Yeah.
So that's my 2 cents on it. Really, really cool what you shared.